Hey, it's America's Supermom. Thank you for joining me on my podcast. This series is the Corona Chronicles. I created this so that we would have an outlet of positivity in the midst of a lot of negativity. You know what I'm talking about. All the news, the fear around this virus, how it can affect us, what the new normal is looking like, and how so many things have changed that a lot of people feel like um, it is the end of the world, so to speak. So, this podcast was created so that those of us who have hope, who are willing to move forward with this new normal and innovate new things that will help us to be creative and positive. That is what this platform is for us to come together and share that positivity and that light with those who may need it. So if you're interested in sharing your insight, please reach out because we can never have enough positive news. So sit back and enjoy the show. Guys, for joining me today. I'm really excited about my next guest, Supriya Prasad. We actually met about a year ago through LinkedIn, I believe, and we were able to do a Facebook Live together. Did we do a Facebook Live, Supriya?
I
We did.
believe it was, yeah.
We did like a workshop or something on.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did that. So, it has just been so much going on since last year. But really glad to be connected with her. She actually is here in the Georgia area as well. And just we connected with having a like mind to be able to give value. I believe we were talking about stress and anxiety at the time, and
Hmm.
boy, is that a relevant topic today, which we might dive into a little bit of that. But today we are here to discuss ways that even though it may be stressful, it may be a time of uncertainty, how we can still move forward in a positive way with our businesses. So at this time, I'm going to give Supriya the opportunity to introduce herself before we get into the interview.
Yes, absolutely. My name is Supriya Prasad. Like I said, I'm an intuitive brand strategy, digital marketing strategist and coach.
Mm-hmm.
So I use my intuitive gifts to help my clients
Mm-hmm.
with their whole digital marketing plan. And I also help with implementation too. So how I got into it, I've had gifts since I was like, well, forever, but started developing it at the same time that my mom did, when
Mm.
I was 12 years old. So
Mm-hmm.
pretty much been developing it since.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like I'm an empath, medium. I can tune into chakras and healing and all that stuff too. I
Mm-hmm.
help out with blocks, energy blocks, with my clients as well. So yeah,
Sounds
like that's
awesome. Yeah, so this is definitely a great segue to a lot of these things can really help the audience today who are listening. So, intuitive gifts and thinking how you can help your clients with that. So, of course, here we are with the pandemic. No one foresaw this coming.
mhm.
So, talk to us about how, you have had to pivot and strategize your particular business for such a time as this.
Yeah, so as you might know, I was actually known as SPB Productions in
Mhm.
2019.
Mhm.
And I was a freelancer. I did social media, digital marketing. I was a strategist and manager.
Mhm.
So I did all of that. However, in this year, right before the pandemic hit, actually, I decided to change my name to the Spirit Digital.
Mm.
And it was because I wanted to reach an audience that I knew a lot of, which was spiritual entrepreneurs, Witchy-woo entrepreneurs.
Mhm.
And I wanted to help them with their digital marketing and their social media strategy. One of the reasons was I actually was at a psychic fair right before, again, right before this whole pandemic hit.
Mhm.
Um, had business cards on me, and I actually just passed them all out, and I ran out because I introduced myself, told them what I did. I explained like a lot of what I did, and almost everybody at that fair needed help with their social
Mm.
media.
Mhm.
So that's kind of what made me want to go into that route. Simply because I knew I had my own gifts. I knew that I could help people with it. I knew there was blocks and everything, and I sort of pivoted into being a coach now too, because most small businesses have a need for marketing.
Mhm.
However, they don't necessarily either have the budget for marketing, or they just kind of want to figure it out themselves, or they just want somebody to train their team to make it better than what it is currently
Mm.
right now. So
Mhm.
that's kind of why I went into being a coach. I actually was coaching last year. It was just at a much it was not at the level that I'm doing it right now,
That is
though. So
awesome.
yeah, so I slightly pivoted into coaching, and I'm building all that out. I have a new program and everything in place, especially for entrepreneurs who have been affected by the pandemic. I actually have like a bunch of things. I have like resources and stuff, free
Mm.
resources for
Mhm.
people, master classes that, you know, free master classes that I've held online, and I've actually saved onto my website
Mhm.
that anybody could use. They were originally supposed to be courses, actually. They were originally supposed to
Mm.
be trainings and courses and things that people were supposed to, I was going to pay, people were
Mhm.
supposed to pay for.
Mhm.
I was originally supposed to go live on February, actually in last October, was when I first started doing them. I had like an intro to LinkedIn, and then a LinkedIn, how to get leads on LinkedIn, how to get premium clients without using premium on LinkedIn.
Mhm.
Um, I had a series of that, and and then when the pandemic hit, I decided to just leave those up for people.
Mm. Mhm.
Um, and I'm probably going to build out a course and a membership and all that stuff. All that stuff is coming as well. I just kind of have to carve out time, for
Mhm.
one, and carve out like time, and carve out like what it's going to be like, because I know I want it to be a course, and then have a paid Facebook group and a membership fee
Mm.
for
Mhm.
that.
I see.
So
That's
yeah.
good. Now, so talk to us about, so you started out doing your social media and things like that.
Mhm.
What was it that what were the signs to help you know that you weren't really doing what you wanted to do, in terms of knowing what to pivot into? Because a lot of people are in this space right now where they are doing what they're doing, but something is just, I don't know if it's missing, or what is that kind of prompted you to kind of move in a different direction.
Oh, there was a couple. There wasn't just one thing. There were definitely a few things. I think one of the things was, I think earlier last year, I actually met a woman. Her name's Stephanie Diaz.
Mhm.
She runs the Women's Only Experience out here in the Atlanta area, and I actually met her. And through meeting her, actually, was kind of the start of everything.
Mhm.
Um, I met her in 2019. I had this intuitive need to just film her because she's a speaker. She does a ton of things. She's a speaker. She runs her own events in WO, and she also has a business where she helps women owned, minority owned businesses get funding as
Mhm.
well.
Mhm.
Um, so so I saw her speaking at a place on a panel that at a place at an organization that I'm also a part of, and I don't know what drove me to it, but there was something about her presence. I wanted to I recorded her speaking, did this video. Again, I'm pretty sure it was divinely done because I never really do that for people. um,
Mm.
I never really do that for people, but I did get some new equipment. I kind of wanted to test it out too. I kind of wanted
Mhm.
to test out this new app, this new software that I was trying out. Um, and I made a post about it, tagged her in it, made sure she got it, sent her a message about it, and she. By the way, after that event, like right after, at the end of the event, I actually went up to her, spoke to her. I was actually with this girl named Brianna Ross. She also owns her own branding company.
Mhm.
Um, and we both went up to her and said how amazing she was and everything, and that's how I knew about her organization. Whoa, she invited us both to her event in April. I sprained my knee, so I couldn't go anywhere.
Mhm.
But yeah, but after that, I was basically divinely guided to make this video for her. So I did. I actually created several versions of that
Mm.
video, put the best one up, and she was floored by it. She was amazed by it. She was just, she was so grateful for it as well. So I went to her event in June,
Mhm.
and that was also pretty much when my life changed. It
Wow.
was the day after I turned 30. I'll never forget it. It was because it was the day after I turned 30.
Mhm.
Um, and I met this other woman named Anissa Talwar Taker, who runs Anissa International out here in Atlanta.
Mhm.
Um, and she she basically it was basically like the most amazing thing. Like she was exactly the type of woman that I wanted to work with. Exactly the type of
Mhm.
woman that I wanted to work with. She was into crystals. She did readings in her office, and she ran a $65 million organization. Um,
Mm.
it was amazing, and I look up to her so much. She was amazing, absolutely amazing. She speaks at all these events. I mean,
Mhm.
her guidance was just so she had this aura about her.
Mhm.
And I also spoke to her. We became Facebook friends after. she was she was just incredible. So I had this incredible experience. Also I met like a bunch of women at my table
Mhm.
as well. And yeah, like after that event, of course I spoke to Stephanie, the person running the event. She was speaking too at the event. And yeah, she was speaking, and I literally I literally had this whole experience of like, okay, I was like, this is what I need to do. Like, I need to
Mhm.
network with these people. I knew I needed to network with these people. I knew I needed to network with everybody. Um, but I didn't have that pivotal moment up until really, I actually went to another WoW event, like right after,
Mhm.
and met this woman. There was actually a contest with Becky Berry. She was a career coach. I was
Mhm.
actually working at the time. I was working at a job at the time, so I felt like I needed some guidance. But the person who won gets like a free session with her, basically.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I got into contest. I actually won it. Um,
Wow.
got a book, got a free book, got a free session with her. She told me at the time I need to figure out what my secret sauce is because there's a ton of you out there. Um,
Mhm.
So that's kind of ever since then I had like, oh gosh, what is my secret sauce? And then of course this whole thing happened, right, with my job.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
And this whole thing happened with my job, and I was just like, oh my gosh. So put my 2 week notice in. They basically said I had to leave, so I left
Mm.
on a day that was it was a lunar eclipse that day. And for those of you who don't
Mm.
know, lunar eclipses mean new beginnings. So
Mm.
um I didn't know it was a lunar eclipse. I did that day. It just happened. So I literally quit, had that experience. And then there was another event that she did called a Soul Circle. And it was basically just a mastermind, like with women, with a bunch of
Mm-hmm.
women. And that's where I figured out what I wanted to do. I wanted to
Mm.
I wanted to get a name. I knew I had a new name coming up. And then like it kind of just grew from there. I went to Becky, and she told me to create a logo, create these things and all this stuff. And, you know, that's pretty much what happened. So it's kind of a domino effect in a way.
Mm-hmm. I love
So,
that. I
yeah.
love that. I mean, what a great story. Now, there's so many things that you brought up, and one of the things that I kind of want to key in on is, being in the right company of people.
Yes.
So for somebody right now, maybe you had coworkers and you guys work together, but in this space where we are reinventing ourselves or doing new things, how important is it to be around the right people?
Oh, it changed everything for me to be around the right people.
Mhm.
And I went by feel. So I like to go by feel.
Mhm.
If there's like a crowd that's just not resonating with you, there's probably
Mhm.
a reason for it. So
Mm.
I went with a crowd that totally resonated with me, that
Mhm.
totally got my vibe. They were all about uplifting other women. They were all about
Mhm.
collaboration, not competition.
Mhm.
And they were so welcoming to each other's ideas and
Mhm.
each other's success. We were
Mhm.
celebrating success.
Mhm.
And that was everything to me. And I
Mhm.
knew I wanted to be around those types of women.
Mhm.
And I knew I wanted to be around women who were willing to like uplift me, and people who just wanted to help each other out. And
Mhm.
that is, I feel like a lot of women should like be around that those types of women who are just looking to collaborate with other people, who are looking to lift
Mhm.
each other up,
Mhm.
supporting other women too, and
Mhm.
supporting other businesses. And I was fortunate enough to find that. I was fortunate enough to find that. And of course, I'm building, what they call like my tribe of women, my tribe
Mhm.
of women who definitely feel each other. And of course, um, the women only experience, they encourage that a ton as well. And she just changed her logo actually from, I think
Mm.
it's from she changed it to a feather to
Mm.
represent the tribe of women that you'll be
Wow.
involved with.
Mhm.
um and it's great, and it was great. And if it's not like an organization like Row, I definitely encourage women to find who, like I said, find who you resonate with, find who
Mhm.
you um are a part of, and who would support you, but you could, supporting each other, lifting each other up,
Mhm.
uplifting each other.
Mhm.
So
Now, and so this is really key because many of us are in that space where we do want to get with people who have our vibe, so to speak.
mhm.
So, for somebody who this is kind of new for, how do you talk to them to get the
confidence to trust exposing their weaknesses to this group of women. Because, I think a lot of us as women, it's like, oh, we got to wear this mask. Oh, I have it all together. But there is such a breath of fresh air to be transparent and really vulnerable so that you can work on building yourself up rather than not learning anything that's going to go anywhere. Does that question make sense?
Yeah. So, yeah, you do have to be vulnerable. There is a sense of vulnerability and a sense of trust that you have to put into other people. And yeah, as an entrepreneur, it's not always easy. It's not always easy to hear criticism. It's not always easy to hear or to be vulnerable with people and to trust people with information. And again, it just goes back to feel. It goes back to who do you resonate with the most and who are you willing to be friends with? Because like a lot of the people in WoW, I could honestly say I'm friends with like a lot of these guys now. And who do you trust is really key here. So I would say if you're trying to build your tribe of women, if you're trying to build your your group, your tribe of women, people you want to mastermind with, you really have to network and feel each other out. There's so many like networking groups across the Atlanta area, and of course there's networking groups all across the country. I'm actually involved in a few as well. And I would say like go out and network. You won't know until you put yourself out there. You won't know until you do any of that stuff. And you will, and if you network enough, and if you will come across a couple people that you do resonate with, and if you're fortunate enough, you will come across somebody like, Stephanie Diaz, who will introduce you to a bunch of women who are like you, who are only willing to who are willing to lift you up and in turn lift other women up as well. And if you know of like a woman like Stephanie who does like little masterminds and who does little masterminds other than her main event, she also has like the Soul Circle, the masterminds and everything else, and she just bounces ideas. If you are fortunate enough to find something like that out there, I would encourage you to attend as many of those events as you can. And then you slowly build your own tribe of people that you can just mastermind with. And as well, and of course, through Stephanie and through her events, I have met with so many women. I've actually met my coach through there now, my business coach, and who is amazing. And I actually didn't meet her through an event. I met her through the Facebook group that Stephanie was in. And I knew she did similar stuff, so I just friended her on Facebook, and it turns out that she has her own book, she has her own everything, and through her book, I actually did her mastermind with her group, and I was like, oh my God, she offers a coaching, like a free coaching call, I need to take it, and she did. And she did offer one, and I totally took it. And now she's, I'm taking her course, and she's basically my coach now. And that's the stuff that happens with groups like hers. So
yeah, I love that. And so, now what would you say is something that you do on a regular basis that keeps you maybe a little bit more flexible, because right now, as we are going through these uncertain times, you've had to pivot. You've,
Mhm.
changed your whole way that you do business, but being comfortable doing that, and even like with a mastermind, like you said, hearing criticism and understanding and trusting people to give you advice that's going to make you better. So, what do you do on a regular basis that keeps you in that mindset, that growth mindset?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. There's a ton of things I do. Be willing to hear constructive criticism because there's a lot of people that don't want to hear it. Believe me,
Mhm.
believe me. Even if in my business too, when I get on calls with people, sometimes they don't want to hear it.
Mhm.
And that's when I also had to learn. I also had to pivot in a way of my pitching and everything, and pivot in a way like where I also had to like structure things in a different way especially during this pandemic, and say like be compassionate to what people are going through, be compassionate to what um this whole thing is about, because it's not easy for people out there, and I make sure
Mhm.
I tell them that too. um and also like I also recommend, like I said, networking with people right now is probably one of the best things you can do. There's a ton of virtual events right now, free
Mhm.
virtual events even, that you can
Mhm.
do right now. And one of the things I could actually recommend to everybody, happyneighborhoodproject.com.
Mm.
That is, they are the big one of the large they are trying to be one of the largest out there right now, because of their
Oh.
events are free. Their events are totally free. They hold them in like a lot of cities right now. They hold them in a lot of cities.
Mm.
And they have one free worldwide networking event every week.
Mm.
So, which is super important. So, if you're like a business owner that needs to, and if you can't spend a lot of money and you're in the pandemic and everything, the Happy Neighborhood Project is totally free. Like you can,
Okay.
and the only thing that they ask is to bring a friend the next time you're at the event. So,
Wow.
um, yeah, so I
Mhm.
personally love it. They wanted to make it, their goal is to make it the happiest event, in the networking event out there. So
Mm.
um yeah, so that's what I would recommend. Networking, getting and like yeah, being open to criticism as well, being
Mhm.
open to all that stuff too. And of course, like, yeah, being open minded too. Like that's how
Mhm.
I pivoted. Being open
Mhm.
minded, teaching people.
Mhm.
That's how I was able to pivot. I was able to pivot in that way, coach. I'm still doing the regular services and all that stuff too, as
Mhm.
part of the implementation process as well. So yeah, being open-minded, being open to
Mhm.
criticism, and of course networking. I think those are the three main
Yeah,
things that people
that
need
is
to
so
focus
good.
on.
Great
Yeah.
advice. Now, so in the digital space, what tips or hacks would you suggest to people right now? Maybe you do have a small budget, or even social media, any of your expertise that you might want to share with people in order to stay relevant, or, to move your business forward during this time. What advice would you
Um,
give people?
the biggest piece of advice that I always give to everybody, whether they're big, small, whatever, um, is the $1.80 strategy. And
Mm,
and this goes for Instagram. This works well for Instagram, and it works well for pretty much every platform out
okay.
there. But specifically for Instagram, if you want to grow your Instagram page, use the $1.80 strategy, which is get leave your 2 cents on a hashtag of your choice. I would suggest a niche hashtag,
Mhm.
a hashtag that's specifically in your niche. So, for
Mhm.
example, I'm a spiritual entrepreneur. So I'm a spiritual digital marketer, so I do the hashtags, just hashtag social media strategist, hashtag spiritual entrepreneur, hashtag witches of Instagram, hashtag light worker, hashtag light workers of Instagram, all those stuff.
Mhm.
So I do those hashtags, and I do those, and I go into the search bar, type in hashtag light worker. Top 9 posts, I leave my 2 cents on there. So
Mm.
yeah, so you top 9 posts, comment, like all those 9 posts on there, and then basically and then do those for 10 hashtags. That's why it's called a $1.80 strategy. You leave your 2 cents on the top nine.
Mm.
And then basically do that 10 times, then do that for all the 10 hashtags. Watch your Instagram page grow. You have to do this every day
Wow.
though. You have to
Okay.
do this every day. You do have to do it every day.
Okay.
It's consistency. Consistency is key. I always tell people 20% of social media, 20% of
Mhm.
social media is you creating the content and it's you posting the content, whether it's a story, whether it's your feed, your regular feed, it's or you know, it's all it's that's 20% of it. The
Mhm.
80% of it is what I just told you, the $1.80 strategy, and
Mm.
that's the stuff that helps you grow
I
on
love
your
that.
page.
I love
And
that.
you're playing the long game with that because
Mhm.
you're not gonna see like 10,000 followers overnight from that strategy. You will see maybe 5 followers, but those 5 followers, if you do it every day, it'll turn into 25. It'll turn into 30. Pretty soon after 3-4 weeks, you'll see 100 more followers. And
Wow.
then if you do it consistently, over the next, month or next 3-4 months, you'll get 400 followers, out of
Wow.
that.
I love
So,
that.
yep,
Mhm.
it-
Yeah.
it's a great strategy. It's a great strategy. I recommend everybody use that strategy because it's so useful, and you do have to figure out what hashtags do work for you. I recommend going into the hashtags, figuring out in your niche what works for you. I recommend the hashtags that are a million or less.
Mhm.
Have a million or less posts on there. So
Mhm. Now, so for when it comes to the hashtags, how many should we be putting on our post, and where should we put them?
anywhere between 10 to 15, 15 or 20. Yeah,
Okay.
10 to 20 hashtags. And I have seen it both ways. I Where people either put it in their post but leave tons of space and then put it inside their
Mm.
post. I've also seen it, and I do this myself. I create a comment and then put all the hashtags there. So you can
Mhm.
do either way. There was a statistical, I have read an article about if there was a difference. They really said it's a 50-50 chance. It's really, there's not much of a difference. It's 50-50. It's not really, doesn't make a whole lot of difference if you do it either way.
Okay, now, so when you create a comment, should you say something with that comment, or
No,
does
no,
it
no.
matter if you just put the
Just put the
hashtag?
hashtags. Just put the hashtags.
Okay, so that's kind of like a way that they're showing that you're showing engagement, so to speak.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this is good. Now, so what about this is the last question I'll ask you about hashtags on other platforms. So we know Instagram started with hashtags, but are they
Mhm.
really functional on Facebook or LinkedIn?
Good
What's your take
question.
on those?
Good question. So LinkedIn is also a platform that uses hashtags as
Mhm.
well.
Mhm.
But for Facebook, I actually recommend instead of hashtags, use groups on Facebook.
Mm.
So
Mhm.
I recommend on Facebook you get like 10 groups that you can get involved in, and then
Mhm.
leave your 2 cents on the top 5 to 9 posts on there, and
Mm.
before you know it, you'll get people interested in your stuff.
That's good. Great
Yep.
advice. This is
Yep.
awesome. Now, what's the best way for people to get a hold of you?
Oh, I am pretty much I pretty much live on LinkedIn and I live on Instagram. So
Mhm.
I am at the at Supriya Supriya dot digital
Mhm.
digital on Instagram, and for LinkedIn I'm /in Supriya Prasad, Supriya Prasad, one word. Um, and that's my username for that.
Mhm.
You can also find me. You can also find me on Facebook. I'm at Supriya.digital on Facebook as well.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, you can also send me an email, Supriya, Supriya at supriyaprasad.com.
Awesome. This has been amazing. And what final words would you want to leave the audience with?
Yeah, I mean, this pandemic, nobody really predicted this, right? Nobody
Mhm.
really predicted this pandemic. So I would look into, if you are looking to pivot, I would look into what makes the most sense for you to pivot. And then
Mhm.
go for it. And if you're trying to be an entrepreneur, like go for it. If you're trying to be, if you're trying to pivot from, being somebody who does who is like a personal trainer, and but is also interested in make sure it's for your personal training business too, make sure it's for all that, like you could, there's so many ways you can pivot as well, and also be open to criticism. If you're build your own tribe, build your own like sort of circle of people
Mhm.
who want nothing more than success for you, because I do think you are the company that you keep.
Mhm.
And you have to look at who you are, because there's a lot of people. um, there might be some people in your current group that aren't looking for you to succeed, and that's a sad thing. And
Mhm.
if you're constantly finding yourself with people who just aren't looking for your success, you are definitely around the wrong people. So
Mhm.
look at who could better you, look at who people can better you. Find a business coach if you don't have one. I do recommend that for people. Find the
Mhm.
business coach, and just be around people, network
Mhm.
too. That's
Mhm.
that's the biggest thing I have to leave people with. Network.
Mhm. And I love this whole thing. I didn't even get a chance to go into that about how you pivoted and created that video. What are some good ways to follow up? Like you do sound like you do a lot of networking. You're meeting a lot of people and a lot of opportunities to expand your either leads or people that are like-minded with you. What is the best way for people to follow up?
You can either follow up via email,
Mhm.
um, but I would also ask, and just I would also ask what platforms are they on, and see where those guys are using the most platforms, because most of the time people don't check their
Oh,
email. People don't check their
yeah.
email. They're most likely able to check their LinkedIn or their Facebook
Mhm.
or their Instagram more so than their email. So I
Mm,
would I would definitely check with them to see where they're most likely at, and then
that's
follow up with
good.
them there.
Sounds good. All right. Well, this has just been amazing. I'm looking forward to our next connection so we can hear what is going on with you next. So this has just
Yeah.
been wonderful. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely too.
And
So
hopefully we can meet in person, after things kind of
yeah.
settle down. At least have coffee or something, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Looking
Mhm.
forward to that day too.
Yes. Well, you take care and have a wonderful evening. And thanks again for all your insight, okay?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Take care.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining me on this episode. I really enjoy providing content that inspires and challenges us to be a better version of ourselves. If you are interested in being a guest on the show, please email me at info@lachelleatkins.com. You can also reach out to me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Pinterest, or my YouTube channel. If there was something in this episode that resonated with you, it probably will resonate with someone else. So please share it. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. But those aha moments, those moments of really getting something and changing your perspective are very, very pivotal in having people change the trajectory of their lives. And so being able to share insightful information so that other people can grow is the easiest thing that we can do as we pay it forward. So again, I want to thank you all for listening. And if you have time, write out a review. Go to iTunes, Anchor, wherever you can find this podcast on any of those platforms, and write a review about what impact this episode had on you, what you learned, or whatever. Any feedback is great because it just helps me to understand what content is really beneficial for those that are listening. So again, I want to thank you all for your support and taking the time to spend some time with me and my guests. And I wish you a wonderful day. Thanks for listening.